Sijara, you finally get to step in there and get that UFC debut in a sense. You know, how excited are you for this?
Oh man, absolutely, I'm pumped. You know, I kept forgetting this whole camp, like this is my UFC debut again, but for me, you know, I love it. You know, it's exciting. This is the debut I've been waiting for. I waited my whole life, my whole career to get into the UFC, and I feel like I got a trial run, kind of. So now I get to do it for real this time. So I'm super pumped about this week.
I know you're supposed to get in there before, and it wasn't able to happen. Was there some frustration? Was there just, you know, oh man, when is this finally going to happen? Was it tough to deal with that? And then did it help kind of push you forward in this camp to get ready for this one?
Initially, there was a ton of frustration. It was like one of the hardest points in my entire career, man. That was tough, you know, getting that close and not being able to even make it to the scales, you know. So it was tough, but it definitely has motivated me. I was able to make a lot of changes in my life and my career, and quite honestly, it's like the best, worst thing that happened to me, because I was able to make a lot of changes with my conditioning, with the way I train, with the way I treat myself. I was humbled by the whole experience. So I'm a much better fighter than I was before coming into December. Like, I'm a better fighter, better person. So it's gonna be real exciting on Friday night, because I can't wait to show how I've grown over the last couple of months.
I was gonna say, you have such a great jiu-jitsu background. So I mean, is it, when you go through these camps, is it about working on the other fine little details to better yourself? I mean, or do you still go back and say, all right, we got to keep on the jiu-jitsu, or is it just trying to grow the other areas, the other disciplines?
It's growing all the disciplines, yeah. Like, you know, Mark Henry says all the time, it's MMA, it's mixed martial arts, and that's one of the greatest things that I've been able to learn while training under him and Jamal and the rest of the guys over under that whole Renzo Gracie umbrella. My jiu-jitsu, I got good jiu-jitsu, but I continue to grow my jiu-jitsu, I grow my striking, I grow my clinch, I grow my grappling, I grow my wrestling. Everything needs improvement. I like to think of MMA like the video games when you create a player and you got all those little tickers. You got to make sure all your tickers are going up. We're trying to get all them joints to like the 100. So I'm always growing all aspects of my game, and I think I've been able to do that the most over the last like 5-6 months, which is really make my game much more well-rounded. I'm not just a grappler no more. I'm a true mixed martial artist.
So to follow that analogy and to keep it going, so when you look at that game profile, how far along are you and where you think you eventually will be? Like, what's your player rating right now?
Man, my player rating, you know, I like to give myself some credit. I think I'm pretty high in all my aspects, especially in this division. I think I'm one of the best when it comes to grappling, striking, ground control, all of that. I think my striking still has got a little bit catching up to do with my grappling. But overall, I think I've definitely well-rounded my skill sets. So I think I'm one of the best girls in the division. But the most beautiful thing about what we do as professional fighters is you're constantly growing. So that's why I fell in love with martial arts. There's no end to the game. Like, there's no 100. It's always like 99, 98. There's always another step you can go. So as far as where I am right now, I'm very happy with my skill set. But of course, you know, we're always going to keep growing, always going to keep learning.
All right, so you take that game and you flip through the roster and you hop over to your opponent. Where does she sit in the game, and break her down for a little bit for us?
Lauren, I put her like, you know, what do they say? Like, I put her like 89, you know, as far as overall score. I think she's got a lot of experience. She's a veteran. She's fought a lot. I think she's gritty. She's definitely hard to finish. Never been finished before, I don't think. But I think she's got some holes in her striking. And I don't think she's as solid a wrestler as she's shown in her fights. I think there's some holes in her grappling as well. So, I mean, regardless of whatever her score is, I think whenever the best arts comes into the cage, there's very few girls that can mess with me. So as long as I put my best foot forward on June 1st, then we're good to go.
In your own words, I mean, you lived with Lauren in the house and everything. Like, what was your relationship like?
It was weird. You know, she started off real cool. She started off on Alvarez, Team Alvarez. She was cool. You know, I kind of went into the house like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not here to make too many friends, you know. But she was all right. And then once she lost to Nico, she kind of just got real sour. And, you know, everyone handles their ups and downs differently, and I guess that's how she handled it. But she just kind of, I guess, to me, it's like, I guess you weren't as mentally in it as you first showed off that you were. And then, because after she lost, she kind of, you know, she really kind of unraveled a bit. But, you know, everybody handles their losses differently, so.
And, you know, with a win over her on Friday, Where do you think this puts you in the division? Do you think it puts you right back in there for a title shot?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. A win over Lauren puts me right back in a title shot. I was right there, you know. It's unfortunate I didn't get to the fight, but I didn't fight, you know, and everyone had me ranked pretty high after that. So, you know, I'm here to prove that I can make the weight. I'm a true flyweight, and I'm one of the best flyweights in the world. So a win over Lauren definitely keeps me at the top of the heap. When her name came up as an opponent, I was like, yeah, this is great, because, you know, everyone thinks pretty highly of her. So a win over her is definitely going to keep me right here in the heat of this title shot.
So in thinking that possibly that defeats or things like that affect her mentally, do you think round by round then, as the fight goes on, if she experiences maybe some bad effects during the fight, that it might, you know, keep rolling and by the end of the fight she might not really be as good as she was maybe going in? Is that the sort of thing that you would think, like, all right, I'm going this fight, this person's not mentally strong. If I take that first round, she's just going to start rolling downhill from that point?
I think Lauren's shown in her fights that she does kind of fade mentally if she gets pushed back and she gets, and the fight's kind of not going her way. Saw some of her film, you can kind of see where she gets frustrated in the fight. So, like I said, my goal is to bring my best foot forward. And I believe that if she starts to break mentally, I think it'll wear. I think it'll wear on her as the rounds go by. But I'm prepared for all 3 rounds, 15 minutes of tough, because she is tough, man. She's never been finished, and she's going to, you know, sometimes, you know, somebody gets worn down in 1 round and they get that break and they come back for the second round and they don't. They got like a second win. So, you know, I'm not hoping for anything like that, you know, but I think she has shown a pattern of getting frustrated if the fight doesn't go her way. So if it happens, then it's just going to be a longer night for her.